It was a stormy night in the small town of Willows Creek. The wind howled through the dense forest that surrounded the town, rattling windows and sending shivers down spines. Emma, a 17-year-old high school student, was home alone. Her parents were away on a business trip, leaving her in charge of their old Victorian house. Emma had never been afraid of the house. Sure, it creaked and groaned in the wind, and the mirrors throughout the home always felt like they were watching her. But she dismissed it as her overactive imagination. That night, Emma decided to kill time by rummaging through the attic, a place she rarely ventured. Dust motes danced in the beam of her flashlight as she explored old trunks and boxes. Among the clutter, she found an antique, full-length mirror. Its ornate frame was tarnished silver, and the glass was oddly spotless despite its age. Curious, Emma dragged it downstairs and set it up in her room. She admired her reflection for a moment, laughing at her messy ponytail and oversized sweater. But then, something in the mirror caught her eye, a flicker of movement. She turned around, her heart racing, but there was nothing there. Shaking her head, she muttered, "Get a grip, Emma," and decided it was time for bed. As she lay under her blankets, the mirror stood at the corner of her room, its surface reflecting the faint glow of her bedside lamp. Emma closed her eyes, trying to ignore the unease that crept over her. Around midnight, she was jolted awake by a strange sound, a soft, rhythmic tapping. She sat up, her eyes immediately locking onto the mirror. There, in the glass, was a shadowy figure, a girl with long, dark hair covering her face. Emma's breath hitched. The girl in the mirror wasn't in the room. She was only visible in the reflection. Who are you?" Emma whispered, her voice barely audible. The girl slowly lifted her head, revealing pale, lifeless eyes and a twisted smile. Her hand reached toward the glass, and as it touched the surface, the mirror began to ripple like water. Emma screamed and scrambled off her bed, her heart pounding like a drum. She grabbed her phone to call for help, but the screen was dead, just static. The girl in the mirror stepped closer, her movements jerky and unnatural. With every step she took in the reflection, the mirror rippled more violently. Emma backed into the wall, her mind racing for a way to escape. She remembered the stories her grandmother used to tell her about cursed objects and spirits trapped in mirrors. "Never let them touch you," her grandmother had warned. "If they do, they'll drag you into their world." The girl's hand pressed harder against the glass, and cracks began to spread across the surface. Emma knew she had to act fast. She grabbed a blanket from her bed and threw it over the mirror, but it did nothing to stop the sound of the girl's laughter, a hollow, bone-chilling sound. Desperate, Emma ran to the attic to find something, anything, to destroy the mirror. She found a heavy hammer among the tools her father kept. As she raced back to her room, the air grew colder, and the laughter grew louder. The moment she uncovered the mirror, the girl's hand broke through the glass, clawing at the edges. Without hesitation, Emma swung the hammer with all her strength. The glass shattered, the pieces scattering across the floor. For a moment, there was silence. Emma sank to her knees, gasping for breath. But when she looked around, she realized the room was empty, too empty. She glanced down at the broken shards of the mirror. In each fragment, the girl's face stared back at her, her twisted smile wider than ever. And then, the light went out. Thanks for watching.